Thanks for joining us here in Bright, Mexico today. I'm Kris Krohn with Limitless Wealth TV, and today I've got the boss joining us.
Hi, I'm Colin.
My wife, and today we got a special message for you today about the real reasons for doing real estate. Hey friends, so a little bit of a special treat here today. I've got my incredible wife, Colin, with me.
Hey guys.
And I know that we see her from time to time on these videos, but she's obviously the super special person in my life. We're actually celebrating how many years of marriage?
16.
16 years of marriage, and we're out here in Mexico. We've just been out here hanging out with some friends. I thought we'd shoot a few videos, but yesterday enjoyed just a really magical Valentine's Day. And
yeah, it was super fun.
And what we want to do is shoot a little video for you today and really talk about the real reason for real estate. You know, everyone has a different motive for why they do real estate, and I thought today we'd just talk a little bit about ours. And you know, for me, real estate just comes down to the fact that as a man in this world and having a family and 4 amazing children, I've got some responsibilities, and I want to find the best way to meet those responsibilities. And a lot of people might say, well, Kris, you're going to meet those responsibilities by having a secure job. And you know, there's a lot of people out there in the world today and it's the way that we're really trained, right? It's like, go to college, get a degree, have a job. And you know, I found that actually having a job was getting in the way of my responsibilities, just personally here, meaning I wanted more flexibility of when I was going to spend time with my family. I wanted more flexibility to travel the way that I wanted to travel. I wanted flexibility to put my family in a home that was a little bigger than that first tiny little thing that we bought, right? And I wanted to meet those responsibilities, and I wanted to do it well. We're young still, but when we were even younger then, I didn't want to have to take 20 years to save up money for a modest house. I didn't want to have to. Ultimately, I really didn't want to wait. I wanted to figure out how I can create that sooner. And so we ended up delaying a lot of gratification for what we wanted to go into real estate. And then within a few short years, real estate blessed us with an incredible abundance. So we're going to talk about responsibility today. We're going to talk about dreams. And just want to kind of ask you, Colin, what was it like just at the start of our journey, knowing that I have this opinion that it would be a more responsible route to not have a 9-to-5 job and to want to get out of that through real estate. What was it like for you choosing into that? Was it supportive or hard for you in the beginning to make that happen?
Well, the year we bought our first house, I think that was 2003. I was 21 and we'd only been married a little while, and I was absolutely terrified. I was so scared. I was scared of what my parents would think. I was scared of what my friends
I'm taking
would think.
responsibility and terrifying my wife.
Aren't you supposed to buy your first house when you're like 30, 28? So yeah, I was totally scared because I knew nothing about real estate, and I just saw, big numbers as far as, what I'd heard about mortgages and things like that. And, that very first house, we bought it. We had, what little savings we had that managed to buy it. And then, it was a teeny little mortgage. It was like $500 a month.
After the refinance, it was originally $800.
Yeah, it went down to $500. And then, that was about what a crappy apartment was in Provo.
That's so true.
And then, we ran out the basement, and all of a sudden, we didn't have a mortgage. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
So you had to wait till you saw it. So you were terrified until you saw
idea,
some evidence or proof that, all right, this thing's working out.
Exactly. And then I'm like, can we do that again? Do you remember when I said that? I'm like, what do you think? Can we do it again?
That was like a cool moment for me, because
my aha.
Colin was totally just following this crazy guy that she had married. Like, man, hope this thing's gonna work out. But after it did, I remember when I was contemplating getting the next house, and it was about a year later. And I remember the real reason why I actually found a house later that day that was so amazing was because you said,
can we do it again?
and I don't know if you remember why you said that, but you were actually working on using all the money that we were saving on paying down our credit cards. And we were having a financial meeting, and basically we were going into debt. And then just even with this first house, we started climbing out of consumer debt with our credit cards. And I remember that we were having that financial meeting, and it was after you looked at how we were just writing another check and almost eliminating the credit card debt that you're like, it just clicked for you. This house helped us get ahead. I wonder what 2 would do. And then she said that comment, can we do it again? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am ready to go. Like I now have the support of my wife, not the faith of my wife.
Well, I saw that with each house, you had the potential of getting ahead several $100s every month through rental income. And then I was still really learning about what equity was. And, I wasn't counting on equity all at once because, usually you have to wait to either refinance or sell the house to really get a bunch of it back. But even just having that few extra $100 a month really, really chipped away at some of our bills to where so much less had to go out every month.
Without sounding, I hope this doesn't sound right as to label or stereotype men and women, but it's interesting thing that often women are more attached to show me the real money coming in. And often, like for me, I was like, you care about the $300 a month on this house?
I totally did.
I care about the $40,000 of equity that when we sell this thing, we're going to get a big pile of money. But that's not real. That's tomorrow, right? That's something that you can maybe leverage for some future benefit.
3, 4, 5 years down the road. But I wanted to know, can we get something every month? Because groceries and rent and things like that.
So what was it like for you when we had gotten to the point where, we started investing with your father, and then we started buying a lot more homes. Did that make you nervous at all?
Once we got the ball rolling, I was just like, honey, you have at it. Like, just go. This apparently is play for you, and you're having fun, and I'm seeing good stuff going on. So it took me a little while, but eventually I realized that this was your passion. This is something you were good at.
Yeah.
And now, how many years, we're talking 15 years later practically, I love that you are sharing all your knowledge with everybody. Because I wish someone had been there at the very beginning to give us what you're giving you guys.
Yeah.
I really, really wish that would have been so much easier because, we had definitely had help along the way and we had mentors along the way. But what you're sharing with these people makes it so much easier to get started.
YouTube friends, we do love you. So, Klein, I want to ask you another one of these questions. As you take a look at, the day that I actually quit my job, were you nervous?
I was okay.
Why?
Because you didn't need it anymore. You were ready.
Yeah.
You were ready. We had enough income coming in from real estate every month that seeing you just at that job, working to get your real estate deals happening on your breaks and at lunchtime. And, you were stressed. You were stressed that you had to kind of choose between actually doing the job and then doing what you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it was just like a freedom. It was like a release when you just finally were like, I'm done. And I'm like, just go do it. Go do it. And he asked if I would throw him a party, so I did.
I did. I said, throw me a retirement party. So it was,
I got you a plaque because you wanted one, and it was a celebration day.
It was a really cool thing, and it took me 4.5 years to be able to retire. And now we've got people that we're helping produce income through real wealth a lot faster, obviously, than we did it. That's actually one of the coolest things today is helping people financially get where they want to go way faster than we even did. That actually brings tremendous joy because. That's one part of it is that, hey, we had obligations to meet and real estate did that for us. And now we're helping you do that. We're helping people do that and on an accelerated fashion. But I want to talk about dreams too. How do you see, how many countries have we been able to travel to in the world, do you think now?
Oh, well, I know you're asking that because the other day I counted them.
Uh-huh.
It was 28. And, I've got a goal in my life to travel to at least 100 countries because I want to see the world. I want to experience it. I want to meet the people from everywhere. And
it's interesting that
we're at 28.
It's interesting that when you haven't started seeing any of it come true, it's called a dream. But once it starts happening, you start calling it a goal. And so this dream, this goal of visiting 100 places, I think for us is, we love to travel. We're lit up by travel. Traveling is like there's something so edifying and connective about it, and it's just a different way to learn about the world. And think about what your dreams are. Think about the things that you want to create. And for us, it's created. Ultimately, you could call it financial freedom or financial independence, or the ability to meet all of our obligations and responsibilities with an abundance. But on the flip side, really actually see our dreams come true. One of my big dreams that really motivates me right now is philanthropy. There's a lot of giving back. Even if you've been to our website, a lot of the courses that people used to pay $3,000 for, you can get for a whole lot less. And we've been subsidizing that. And even when people say, okay, Kris, I want to join your investors community, but I'll even pay out of my pocket to pay my paid trainers to work with you and train you. to really help as many people as possible. And so, real estate is often this capitalistic thing where it's like, oh, it's this money thing, it's all for me. But the reality is that when you do real estate investing, it's for a whole lot more people. And it also has the ability to produce an abundance of wealth beyond your own needs so that you can do some giving back. We've been a part this last year and a half of some amazing projects that we've been able to help people on the other side of the world and help people in our backyard. And real estate's made that possible.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of real estate is once you've got your own family's needs covered, you can do so much more. You can do so much more with your life. You can actually work on what your dreams are, beyond just taking care of your family and making sure your kids can pay for piano lessons, For me, it's, last year we got to take all of our children to Kenya, and we got to do all of these projects for these people out there, and my kids that are really young got to see it. They got to
play at the orphanage when we were building the orphanage.
They played with the orphans. They made those connections with people on the other side.
Project.
Yeah, they helped to dig this water purification project and haul rocks and play with the kids at the same time, and it was priceless to see that happen. Absolutely priceless. And wherever we go and wherever we take people, because we take people on these group outings all around the world, we always put in a service project wherever we go, and that connection with the people that live there is what stays in my heart. More than nice hotels or more than nice beaches, it's meeting the people around the world and being able to be a part of uplifting them and making their lives better, because in turn it makes our lives better.
Yeah, and you're part of the amazing people that we love. And I think today we wanted to shoot this video just to let you know that, hey, we spend a lot of time getting really technical, right? We can jump into the technicalities, all these videos about the how-tos and do-it-yourself and how you make this happen. And the reality is, don't forget why you're doing it. And when you have a why that moves you, when you have a why inside that really pushes you, then you're going to make real estate happen. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have the dream of real estate investing, but they don't pay the necessary price to actually make it come real. They allow themselves to get bogged down by their job or the lack of money. Listen, we didn't start with money. We didn't start with credit. We didn't have the tools and resources. We needed to fork money out even when we didn't have it to try to find a way. And we think that we've made that a lot easier on people these days by putting all these resources together now. And so I think today's video is just remember that, hey, if you've been contemplating real estate as a career, if you've contemplated it as an alternative career, if you've looked at it as a way to meet your obligations and responsibilities, take care of family and love and life, if you've thought about it as a way to meet your dreams, I can tell you that real estate has done things for us that no career from any college degree will ever provide. For people that get their satisfaction that way, that's perfect. For those of you that want to live life bigger or more full, or at least be able to create more, for me it's get more to give more, and it's for God and giving, and it's like this giving kick is like my favorite part of my life right now, which is like, let's help as many people as we possibly can. That's why you've probably been to the website and seen that, hey, if you want to come out and get live with me for 3 days or 4 days at one of my live events, then I'll even give you my Partner Profits course, $3,000 course for free. You don't have to pay for it. And it's just finding different ways to connect and to meet and to help as many people as possible. So, Clint, do you have any final advice for anyone that's contemplating real estate as a real full-time career?
I think you'll only get great benefits from it because, a lot of it works for you. And then you can actually work on what really drives you.
And what about the risk? Because there's risk in investing. What happens, we've had projects when real estate says, oh, wow, you need to do this unexpected remodel on this house.
Of course there's risk. And there's ways to mitigate that risk. There's ways to minimize it and put different securities in place so that you can plan for those. When you plan for those unexpected things, you can work through them and you can handle them. But what's the risk of just having a job and working for a boss the rest of your life at a minimum wage or a very just moderate rate wage? Are you going to get where you want to go at the end of your life?
Well, and I would also say for those of you that are in good paying jobs and you're doing quite well and your degree is serving you faithfully and life is financially moving in a good direction, but you still might be wondering, wow, even on this great path or even on an accelerated path, will it still be everything that you need and want? Will it allow you to do all the giving that you really want? And real estate is really just a beautiful way to augment that and to get where you want to go faster. So whether it's your dedicated path, like it's been for us, to just race to the finish line and far beyond, or whether it's actually, I like the pace of my life, I love my path, I like what I'm doing, but I need to be even wiser with the way that I'm building my wealth, and I can have real estate building in the background. There's options here for all of that when you come and play with us.
Yeah, one day I realized that there really was no way to have just a typical salary and be able to do what you really wanted to with your life and be able to retire for 20, 30 years without investing in something. And this is a beautiful way to invest in something real, tangible, that keeps its worth or grows it, usually, always appreciating in value. And having a way to do it that minimizes the risk as best you can with planning for unexpected things, I think it's really the best way.
Yeah. Clem, thanks for being on today.
You're welcome.
I think ultimately this whole real estate journey has been about investing in us. Real estate might be what we do, but
He's a good guy.
Sometimes. who it's allowed us to become and the opportunity that it's afforded us, causes me to look back and just think, wow, either we got really lucky or we were fortunate at a very young age to figure something out, but there's no reason why everyone can't have that as well. So if it resonates with you, come and play with us. Thanks for being on our video today. Thank you so much for joining us and watching this video today. You can click the link and see, some more options of how we can play together. But I think ultimately I would wrap it up by simply saying that if you do invest in real estate, there's risk. There's a risk that you're going to have some unexpected expenses, and sometimes those expenses are going to be bigger than you want them to be.
And if you don't do real estate, you might not achieve your dreams.
So friends,
I think you should do it.
Yeah, so come and play. Come one way or the other, find the way that you're going to jump in there and make real estate happen today.